Have you ever noticed that the more you overthink, the weaker you feel? The more you stress, the slower your mind becomes. It's like you're slowly killing the most powerful part of yourself, your own brain. Every day, millions of thoughts pass through the human mind, worries, regrets, fears, and endless comparisons. But the tragedy is that most of these thoughts are not helping. They're hurting. They are poisoning the very system that keeps you alive, creative, and peaceful. Your brain was designed to protect you, to help you think, to create, to solve problems. But when it's filled with constant negativity, anxiety, and guilt, it stops being your friend and starts becoming your victim. Science calls it cognitive overload. When your brain receives too many emotional signals at once, every fear, every unhealed memory, it all floods your nervous system and forces your brain into survival mode. When that happens, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In short doses, they help. But when they stay high for days, weeks, months, they start destroying the very brain cells responsible for memory, focus, and emotional balance. So when someone constantly says, "I can't think, I forget things, I feel blank," it's not always laziness. Sometimes it's a tired brain, a brain that's been fighting too many invisible battles. Your brain is not made of steel. It's made of soft, living cells that respond to your emotions. Every angry outburst, every negative self-talk, every sleepless night, it leaves a scar deep inside that you can't see, but your brain can feel. Psychology says the human brain reacts to thoughts as if they are real experiences. If you constantly imagine failure, rejection, or pain, your brain releases chemicals as if those things are happening right now. That means every negative imagination becomes a real physical attack on your own mind. So when you live in constant fear, you are not escaping the enemy. You are becoming your own. Think about this. When you skip meals, your stomach hurts. When you stop moving, your body weakens. But when you stop thinking healthy thoughts, your brain begins to fade silently. This is why modern psychology calls negative thinking a form of self-destruction. Because slowly, quietly, you start killing your own joy, your creativity, your peace, and even your personality. The brain doesn't die in a moment. It dies slowly, thought by thought. But the good news is, the same brain that you've hurt can heal. Because the brain has a miracle power called neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire and rebuild itself through new patterns of thought. Every time you choose calm over anger, gratitude over complaint, forgiveness over hate, your brain forms new healthy pathways. The cells that once carried stress signals start carrying peace signals. The same brain that was drowning in fear begins to rise in focus and strength. So ask this simple question: why kill your own brain when you can train it? Why destroy your peace when you can protect it? No one else is inside your head. Only you. You decide what thoughts are allowed to live there. If you fill your mind with constant fear, anger, guilt, and overthinking, you are poisoning your inner world with your own hands. But if you fill it with gratitude, learning, forgiveness, and quiet faith, you give your brain a reason to live, grow, and heal. Your brain doesn't just control your body. It controls your destiny. And every choice you make today shapes its strength for tomorrow. So stop saying, "I can't." Stop replaying every mistake. Stop allowing every small problem to take over your peace. Because every time you do that, you are cutting down the very power that makes you human. Protect your brain like you protect your heart. Feed it with calm thoughts. Rest it with peace. heal it with silence. Grow it with knowledge, and above all, speak to it with kindness. Because the greatest act of wisdom is not speaking smart, it's thinking gentle. Your brain has been loyal since the day you were born. It fought for you in sickness, in stress, in fear, in exhaustion. It deserves your care, not your cruelty. Your brain is not a machine, it's an emotional ocean. Every thought is a wave, and every wave leaves a mark. The thoughts you choose today will decide whether that ocean remains calm or turns into a storm. See, when people say, "I feel lost," it's not that they have lost their way. They've lost connection with their own mind. They have allowed too much noise, too many opinions, too much fear to live rent-free inside their heads. And slowly, the brain begins to suffocate under the weight of thoughts that don't even belong to it. Psychologists say the brain doesn't care whether a thought is true or false. It reacts only to what it hears repeatedly. If you keep telling yourself you're not enough, your brain will believe it. If you keep saying, "I can't handle this," your brain will prepare for failure before the battle even begins. That's how self-sabotage is born, not from the outside world, but from the inside whispers. Most people don't realize this. Your thoughts are like food for your brain. Positive thoughts are nutrients. Negative thoughts are toxins. And just like junk food damages the body, toxic thoughts damage the mind. They release a flood of chemicals that make your brain tired, your body weak, and your emotions unstable. This is why someone can sleep for 10 hours and still wake up tired. Because their body rested, but their mind didn't. Their brain spent the whole night fighting invisible battles, created by fear, guilt, and regret. You don't kill your brain with a gun. You kill it with your own thoughts. Every overreaction, every sleepless night, every fake smile, every "I'm fine," when you're breaking inside, it silently eats away at the strength of your nervous system. This is what psychologists call emotional suppression. When you feel everything but express nothing, and the brain pays the price for it. Because the mind was never built to hide pain, it was built to process it. But here's the miracle: the brain is not your enemy. It doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to protect you. It only needs direction. It only needs peace. Imagine your brain as a little child. When that child is scared, shouting at it won't help. It needs reassurance, comfort, and understanding. That's how the brain works too. It needs calm guidance, not chaos. The moment you slow down your thoughts, your brain begins to repair itself. When you sit in silence, pray, breathe deeply, or simply do nothing, you are not wasting time. You are rebuilding your brain's energy, one peaceful moment at a time. Science calls this neural recovery, when your brain cleans itself from toxic hormones and repairs damaged connections. So, peace is not a luxury. Peace is a biological necessity. You see, when people constantly live in anger, their brain's front part, the prefrontal cortex, begins to shrink. That's the part responsible for decision making, focus, and emotional control. But when they practice calmness, kindness, and gratitude, the same brain begins to grow stronger. It forms new connections, what psychologists call neuroplastic growth. So yes, you can literally grow your peace like a muscle. Every time you forgive instead of fighting, every time you choose to understand instead of react, you train your brain to heal instead of harm. The truth is, people think heartbreak only hurts the heart, but it hurts the brain too. When you face emotional rejection or deep sadness, the brain releases the same chemicals as it does during physical pain. That's why heartbreak feels like your chest is heavy, because your brain is sending pain signals to your body. But here's what's beautiful. That same brain can create healing hormones when you feel love, hope, and faith. Your thoughts literally change your blood chemistry. Your emotions decide whether your brain releases poison or medicine. So every time you think something kind, hopeful, or grateful, you are actually producing natural antidepressants inside your body. Now think about how often people keep replaying their pain, the argument, the failure, the betrayal. Every replay makes the brain believe it's happening again. You're forcing your mind to relive something that ended long ago. And the more you do it, the more your brain wires itself around pain. Soon, even small triggers start hurting more than they should because your brain has learned to expect pain. This is why you must teach your brain new lessons. You must remind it that not every memory deserves to live rent-free. If a thought doesn't bring peace, it doesn't deserve space. One of the most powerful discoveries in modern psychology says, you can't stop thoughts, but you can stop believing them. You don't have to fight every negative idea that appears. Just let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Your peace doesn't depend on controlling the storm. It depends on not becoming the storm. Because when you stay calm, your brain shifts from survival mode to growth mode. And growth mode is where creativity, healing, and focus begin to thrive. You see, the mind and the body are not two separate systems. They are one. When the mind is sick, the body starts sending signals, headaches, chest tightness, fatigue, or digestive issues. Doctors call this psychosomatic reaction, when emotional pain expresses itself physically. So the next time you feel constant tiredness or strange pain without any medical reason, ask yourself, what thought is my body reacting to? Because sometimes it's not the food that's toxic, it's the emotion. There's a silent war happening inside every person, a war between peace and panic, between logic and fear, between who you are and who your thoughts tell you to be. But peace doesn't come when the war ends. Peace comes when you stop feeding both sides. When you stop arguing with your mind and start listening to it gently. The brain doesn't heal in noise. It heals in silence. That's why silence meditation and prayer are not just spiritual habits. They're psychological medicine. Every deep breath tells your brain, you are safe. You are loved. You can rest now. When the brain hears that message repeatedly, it begins to repair itself. It starts producing more serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals of happiness and calmness. And just like that, the darkness begins to fade. But remember, no healing happens without discipline. You cannot expect a healthy brain while feeding it with toxic news, endless scrolling, and sleepless nights. You cannot keep saying, I'm fine, while your thoughts are screaming for rest. Healing requires honesty. You must stop pretending you're okay and start giving your brain the environment to breathe again. Turn off the noise. Disconnect to reconnect. Because the mind cannot hear peace until the world around it becomes quiet. People say, I want happiness. But happiness is not a goal. It's a side effect of mental health. It's the reward your brain gives when it feels safe. So before you chase happiness, build peace. Feed your brain calmness, compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude. Because these are the nutrients your mind was born to live on. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And once you realize that, you gain control over your inner world. You begin to choose what to keep and what to release. Let go of guilt. Let go of imaginary fears. Let go of self-hate. because the brain only becomes powerful when it is peaceful. The greatest act of strength is not lifting weights. It's lifting yourself out of destructive thinking. And the smartest mind is not the one that knows everything. It's the one that knows when to rest. So give your brain the kindness it's been asking for. It has carried your thoughts, your pain, your worries, all silently. Now, it deserves your silence, your care, your peace. Your brain is the most loyal servant you'll ever have. It never stops working, not when you sleep, not when you cry, not even when you give up. It keeps fighting for you, even when you fill it with doubt. But every servant needs care. And when you start neglecting it, by overthinking, comparing, stressing, or pretending, it slowly begins to break. The truth is, no medicine can fully heal a mind that's still at war with itself. Healing begins the moment you stop hurting your own brain. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind every day? What do you read, watch, think, or repeat to yourself? If your thoughts were food, would your brain be nourished or starving? Because everything you see, everything you repeat, everything you believe, becomes the building block of your mental reality. You can't plant negative thoughts and expect positive peace. You can't fill your mind with fear and expect faith to bloom. Psychology teaches that the brain is programmable. Whatever you focus on expands. Focus on pain and you'll feel more of it. Focus on healing and your brain will start searching for solutions. That's why gratitude is not just spiritual, it's neurological. Every time you feel grateful, your brain releases chemicals that rebuild emotional stability. Every time you choose hope, your mind lights up the same areas responsible for recovery and creativity. So yes, your thoughts are the medicine your brain has been waiting for. Don't underestimate small positive habits. Waking up early, breathing deeply, forgiving someone, reading something kind. These simple acts are actually rewiring your brain. They are sending a message to your nervous system. I am safe now. I am healing now. And once your brain believes that, your entire body begins to follow. Your sleep improves. Your digestion heals. Your energy returns. And most importantly, your joy comes back. The human brain is not made to be perfect. It's made to be resilient. It breaks, but it can rebuild. It forgets, but it can relearn. It hurts, but it can heal. So don't curse your brain for failing you. Thank it for surviving everything it's been through, because no one sees the wars it fights daily to keep you standing, smiling, thinking, and hoping. Listen, you were never meant to destroy your own mind. You were meant to protect it, because inside it lives the voice of your peace, your purpose, and your connection to the divine. When you take care of your brain, you are honoring the gift God placed inside you, the power to think, to choose, to create, and to heal. So stop fighting your thoughts. Stop carrying yesterday's pain. Stop believing every lie your fear tells you. Instead, speak gently to your mind. Tell it, you're safe now. Tell it, we're still learning. Tell it, we're healing. Because the moment your brain feels peace, your soul begins to glow. And when your soul glows, no darkness can stay for long. Protect your brain. It's the temple where peace begins and the battlefield where faith wins.